All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my custom D&D campaigns set in my messed up custom D&D world, specifically a demiplane. And it's confusing for me, and I wrote it. But yeah, and then the people you see below me are the people that are joining us and playing characters. And as of the last session, everyone's actually here. We spent a couple months, I guess, unfortunately because of sickness and everything. Spent a couple months where it was just a few people, and they had to kind of get the band back together. And now everybody's back. And it's super cool and fun. And yeah, I mean they're perfectly fine. They're definitely not in a place where death is waiting around every single corner, and they definitely don't have a giant undead dragon thing that keeps showing up and blowing up shit. So I mean they're perfectly fine. I think. Do you guys feel fine?
Oh, totally. Super safe.
Yeah. Fine. Fire everywhere. This is fine. Or the other fun one. I'm in danger. So, um, very quick an announcement. My YouTube channel, where you can watch all of the episodes of this and my other, this and my other D&D stuff is all on my YouTube channel. Yesterday, I uploaded the finale of my first TJ and Friends play series. I played through The Legend of Grimrock with characters based on a few of my friends. And I basically blamed the fact that we were stuck in a prison where we were sent to die on one of the people I created a character for, named Amanda, and she agreed it was her fault. So by the end of the game, I had blamed her for literally everything that goes wrong in the Legend of Grimrock. But it beat the game, and it was super fun. And I played Legend of Grimrock. I had like 30 or 40 hours in the game. I'd never actually beaten the game because I would get a few levels down, and then I would start over because I liked making characters. So yeah, I beat it. Next week, we're going to be starting a new series. I'm not 100% certain what that series is going to be yet. But yeah, check it out. It's cool. I was very proud of it. And that means tomorrow there's going to be no new video unless I somehow make something really quick tonight or to tomorrow before I'm supposed to upload it. So yeah, check out my YouTube. It's important. So, do you guys want to adventure, or you want to just like chill?
I mean,
I mean,
I did just get incinerated.
Yeah, I guess we should probably to check that out. You know. So it's time to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. The party has reunited, having been spread all across this strange land of Crucia Titalia. They have finally found all of each other and are a little bit wiser and a lot older. Some of them have spent over a year in this realm powered by the suffering of its inhabitants. Others, only a few weeks. But now they're all back together. Most recently, Lillian had been living and working in the only temple to a god currently active in this land, the Temple of the Dark Lady. But as she continued to work, things just started feeling off. And when her friends showed up after she had been here for months and months and months, dominoes started falling to the point where she finally realized what was wrong. It was the church itself. They were not doing what the Dark Lady would want. They were not following her teachings. And so she broke off from it. And at that same time, her friends showed up, and so did a giant skeletal dragon. As Lillian was attempting to save the somewhat innocent members of the church from dying from the dragon, and having dealt with the priest who turned into some strange monstrosity, Argenta decided to... Was it Argenta?
Wrestled the guy from the altar, yeah.
Yes, yeah, I thought so. Argenta decided to intervene in a situation that would have seen one of the faithful possibly lose their life, and unfortunately traded places with the faithful. In the split second before Argenta was about to be incinerated, Henri teleported, used a massive store of magical energy, and took the full brunt of a draconic flame breath. It ended up incinerating his protection and almost completely incinerating Henri himself. But Henri survived. Scarred, but living. The party proceeded to heal Henri as well they could and get ready for whatever was next. And that is where we pick it up.
Remind me when we get out of this place to stay away from temples of the Dark Lady. Every single time I go in one, I almost die. Every time.
I think that means you're effectively communing with her, doesn't it?
I think it means she hates me, and I'm okay with that.
Thank you for that, Henri. I set him down at this point.
As you're all standing there, you see there's a fair amount of movement in the village itself. The church is smoldering still. There are fires there, but it seems like whatever impact Henri had with his sacrifice seemed to have contained most of the flames to just the church itself. However, as you're all sitting there, you guys notice movement picking up a little bit, and you see armed men coming towards you and encircling you and the rest of the church, but taking special care to circle you as the guards all pull weapons and train them at you. Not saying anything, but just keeping you aware that You're all relatively certain you're under arrest currently. As you're all sitting there licking your wounds, you hear a familiar face. Well, seems to me you done broke my town. You see the constable walk up.
I think your town almost tried breaking us.
Well, it's broken now, so that's kind of where we need to focus, to be honest. Your friend there looks crispier than I remember him.
Oh, him, he's fine. He does that sometimes.
Can't really plan for dragon attacks.
Well, normally I'd call for the church to send a healer, but y'all done sent the church to the 7th layer of hell, I think, is what we're looking at here.
I think I scared off most of the people, though.
Yeah, I got some strange reports of woman, fire coming out of her eyes, her head spinning on its own.
They needed to move quickly, and I needed to give them motivation.
Well, they're very motivated. There was a few that were forming a lynch mob not too far away. I figured the town was doing perfectly fine till you all showed up. I told them I'd look into things, but the town wants me to string you all up.
So, no party then.
Well,
No party for us.
oh, there might be a party, and it would definitely involve you. How does
Involved is
this
still alive?
How does this sound? We don't have quite the healing abilities of the church, but we do have a surgeon back at the barracks. You can look at your friend there, and you all can come back. We'll give you private rooms, really, really nice. Kind of a metal bar motif. And you can explain exactly what in the hell you did. And maybe if I understand this a little better, I can talk the town down from killing you. But as of right now, they're out for blood. The church was very important here, and, well, they're just not gonna believe that you're the ones in the right, unless you have a very convincing story.
I can be very persuasive.
Oh, I don't doubt it. So how does that sound? Do you all want to come with me?
I will look around at the others.
Argenta just kind of gives like the slightest shrug.
I mean, I guess I was wanting to, and I'll point to the sky, hunt the bastard down, but
Well, from what I've heard, we had a couple scouts follow it as it went away. Damn thing is incredibly fast. Scouts lost it about 4 miles outside of town. And where they're flying so high, there's no trail to follow.
What direction was it heading?
That's a strange thing. It was heading due southeast. But see, to this is a southeast. There's nothing but mist and the Demise Tower. So we're not 100% sure where it was going. Especially
what
since
is-
it came from the west.
What is this demise tower you mentioned?
How... we'll talk about that later. Right now, as long as there's weapons pointed at you, no one's going to try and kill you yet. But if I don't get you out of sight and make it look like you're under arrest at the least, the burns are going to be the least of your problems.
Well, if no one has any objections, I'd say lead the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we can take you, we are going to have to ask that you disarm yourselves. Again,
Already.
we have a lot of people staring at us. If I let you come in with weapons, they're just going to get upset.
Argenta sighs and she goes through the 5-minute process of putting every weapon in the bag of holding.
Yeah,
Shoot.
Sam.
You have a cart. We might be here a while.
And you see, he like snaps his fingers twice, and you see 4 guys come over. 4 really big guys. And as they're just watching Argenta pull things out, they're like, and they just start picking stuff up. One of them takes his belt off and starts taking some of the larger items and just basically lashes them together to make them easier to carry. Another one goes over to Liliane, and they're just kind of looking at her, trying to figure out where she kept most of them, the weapons she's taking off. Because her outfit is very, very nice, but there's not a lot of pockets on it. It's relatively form-fitting.
They're sitting there looking at me. I'll just be like, "What? I don't use weapons."
As they all kind of look at you, you eventually see someone wearing much looser clothing and not wearing any armor kind of come over, and he looks at you and goes, "Damn! You are aware you should be dead, right?"
Yeah, I've heard that many times.
Okay, let's, you pick him up. And 2 other guys come and they kind of lift you and they start taking you off. As you see him kind of take what looks like maybe a salve or something, and he starts lightly applying it to some of the burned areas. And as soon as it touches your skin, it's this really strange feeling where it kind of stings for a second, and then it burns, and then it's really cold, and then the area goes numb. And all of this happens within about 6 seconds. But after he's gotten it on a few places, it's starting to feel a lot better. So they're taking off Henri. They've picked up the weapons that the rest of your job. They could come up to Commander. Commander, I assume you still have your sword on you.
Both of them, yeah.
What about Fury? Because I can't remember if you had it out.
If I remember correctly, I did not have it out. I don't know. We were in the camp, and I was looking at it, and we took off. But I never said I put it away in my hiding place. So I don't. It's up to you if you wanted to call it.
Well, let's do it this way. Do you want to disarm yourself and put it on the ground, or do you want to try and sequester it?
Will it play nice or not? Yeah, I'll be up front, and I'll hand it over.
Okay.
I'll empty it and then hand it over.
As you hand it over to one of the guards, he kind of looks at it. What's this?
Just don't pull the trigger, okay?
Pull what? Is this a toy or something?
I can hold on to it if you don't want me
No,
to give it
no,
to you.
no. We don't trust you, like. As you
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just kind of wanders off without picking up anything else. And another guy kind of comes over, just gives him a stink eye, picks up your swords. He goes, all right, let's go. Come on. And they take you all back to the barracks.
I will hand over my rapier and dagger.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the flame dagger, I will just be like, or the flute of the piercing flame, I'll just be like, you, in my best Gandalf, you would not rob a bard of their musical instruments.
Roll me a deception check with a disadvantage.
I am going to use my inspiration to make it just a flat roll.
Probably very useful.
Ooh, well, 16.
Okay. As the guard kind of looks you over, you see him kind of go. He kind of smiles, and then faster than you thought possible, he just grabs it. I've seen what bards can do with musical instruments. We will hold on to this.
Very well. I just kind of like adjust my shirt to hide my warlock symbol.
And they gather you guys up, and they take you back to the barracks. And true to their word, you all get private rooms. Each one 6 by 6. You're actually kind of impressed how many cells they had. Because in addition to you each being in your own little cell, there is a group cell across the way, and 4 more individual cells. So even you, Lillian, are a little bit surprised because there wasn't that much crime in Scornmote. Like the church had such a stranglehold, and when people did do things wrong, justice was generally pretty quick and pretty final. So you're a little bit surprised with just how large a detainment facility they had.
Pretty sure this marks we've now been in jail in every region in this campaign.
That's great. Were you guys in jail in Fenrir? I didn't think you actually went to any of the
Fenrir
Well-
was technically
Fenrir.
Celeste's lair.
Oh yeah. Wow. You guys are just touring the jails. You guys could make your own green book.
Do we fill out our punch cards with this?
Do you, oh shit, what's it called? Do you guys validate?
Do we get a free night or something?
So
They're all free.
as you're all in there, you can go ahead and take a short rest. Burn any healing dice that you want.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
will they will carry us away? Where will she still in the area? Did I see what happened to her?
Fantastic question. As you were getting hauled off, you did see Terrace on the other side of the kind of line of guards watching you. But you could see she was doing what she could to kind of disassociate herself with you. So, yeah, she didn't say anything. So, I will say, Henri, you get an extra Let me roll it real quick here. You get an extra 21 hit points from the efforts of the surgeon that's been tending to your wounds. But you are also currently unconscious due to whatever they gave you knocked you out.
Well, that was convenient because I spent 10 hit dice and was missing 20 hit points.
Okay, so yeah, you're full. You are just currently sleeping.
Did that include the 19 I gave you?
Yeah, I was at 25 before all this.
Okay. I would like to, since I don't have my flute, I can't play a song, but I would like to loudly sing a song of rest.
Okay. So anyone that wants to can add a. Is it just a D6 or has it gotten bigger?
D8, I believe.
D8. Okay. So yeah, anyone can add a D8 to their hit points if they burn a hit die. So as you're all in your cells, the one thing that seems kind of odd is it has been hours since you were brought here. You were kind of expecting the constable to could come over and speak to him immediately, but when they got you down there, and you are effectively in the basement of the barracks. They brought you down the stairs. They locked you up. About an hour after you guys got there, they brought down the unconscious form of Henri, and then you guys have been sitting here for another 2 hours.
I would like to try to use. I mean, do we hear any noises coming from upstairs?
A little bit. The door that leads upstairs is really, really thick and cuts a lot of this as a sound.
Okay.
But you can hear talking and or you can hear what sounds like people milling about and discussing the things. You can't hear any specifics because of how muddled it is, but
I'm just trying to think. I may try to use clairvoyance.
mm-hmm.
Like if I hear an increase, like a commotion, or like an increase of people, maybe. I would probably try to use clairvoyance at least once.
Okay.
To see if I can pick anything up.
As far as you can tell, there's no sudden increase that you're aware of.
Okay. Then I would say at about this point, I would try using clairvoyance then.
Okay.
Just kind of outside the door a little bit,
Okay.
or if I remember seeing an office or anything.
Is there a save or anything that has to happen for that, or is it just what will work?
Nope, it just works.
Okay. So as you sit there and you start casting,
And I can either see or hear, or flip between the two.
let's start off with an Arcana to check.
Okay. That is an 18.
As you're getting ready to cast the spell, you notice there are arcane sigils on each of the cells, and there are a few in the areas between the cells. And just kind of going over, one of them is an alarm sigil. And another one you're not 100% certain of, but it shares some similarities with an anti-magic zone. You're not sure if it would actually cast an anti-magic zone or it just has something that deals with similar magics, but you notice those two particular sigils immediately before you start casting. So with that information, do you want to continue casting?
No, I'll stop myself and be like, "Whoa, we know what birds can do with his. Yeah. I don't like this place. Lilianne, I don't like your friends. They're buzzkills. This reminds me of a story of a friend of mine, Kevin Bacon, used to tell. I think he may have been here before.
So, another hour passes, and again, nothing has happened. There's been no swell of noise, no anything that would indicate something has changed. You've just been sitting in here at this point for 5 hours. Is there anything you guys wanted to do? Or anything you would have done over those 5 hours?
Keep sleeping. I guess technically, since I'm elf, my trances are done. Would that have been a long rest for me? They did have the level of exhaustion going into that.
In order to get the benefit from a long rest, it does have to be 8 hours. Even if you're not sleeping the entire time, you still have to take 8 hours of light duty to get the effect of a little long rest.
I'd probably stay passed out for as long as they'd let me so I can get rid of my exhaustion.
Yeah, you will be unconscious for a little longer. You don't get a choice in this particular instance, unfortunately. You have been purposefully put under, so.
And our rooms are side by side. We're not facing each other, right?
Yes, all of you are on this same side.
Okay, all right.
There are walls between ourselves.
There are bars.
Oh,
So we can see each other.
Yippers.
Oh, okay.
You have private rooms.
am I next to Argenta?
The order is Argenta, Vala, Lillian, Henri, Commander.
So
You're next to Henri. And
Okay.
on the other side is an empty cell.
Never mind.
Oh,
And then
see,
across from you is a large group cell, and then 4 more. There's a total of 8 cells on your side, and then a group cell and 4 more cells.
Commander, do you want to pass notes?
No. I was wanting to get Argenta's help on something, but if we're not next to each other, it's no point.
So, as you all wait, another hour passes with nothing. And as you, Vala, as you've been kind of trying to listen as much as you can, the noise upstairs is definitely dying down. Though you're not sure if that's because people just aren't talking as much or people are actually leaving. You just know that the ambient noise level has reduced itself enough to be noticeable.
Do we know it our room or that was exterior wall?
We are all under ground. So, technically, all of you have an exterior wall, but on the other side of that wall is packed earth. So,
No little windows.
no, not in this area. Egress windows had not quite been code yet, so.
Sure.
I'm making a list of notes to complain about.
The salmon was undercooked. The risotto was overcooked.
When I publish my book on the jails of the Three Kingdoms and associated realms, this will not be a glowing review.
Yeah.
You just lost yourself your Vala Star.
Yo.
So, as you're all kind of still sitting there, another hour passes, and the noise from upstairs is almost silent. But again, that theoretically could mean that there's still dozens of people up there. The door is thick enough that you wouldn't be able to tell that few people.
Mm.
Hmm.
Other rooms like wall to wall, but like
There is a small area near the door that is not cells. There's a desk and there's some chairs and a table. Basically, when this is normally used, there would be a guard down here to make sure you guys aren't like trying to break out or kill each other or something. Right now, there's no one, but there's an area that's about 10 feet by 10 feet that normally would be where the guards are.
I would like to check to see if the door is locked.
Yeah, you go up. Yep, a little locked. It's decent construction. Having dealt with stuff like this, it's not great. Like you had better stuff in Meisenford, or not Meisenford, Ilmorn. You had better stuff in Ilmorn for ensuring that people didn't go places you didn't want them. But it's okay. It does its job.
well, Baba was doing told her that you noticed those signals.
I probably would have, when I started complaining about my friend Kevin Bacon, I probably would have mentioned that there are these warning sigils and anti-magic stuff, and mentioned that when we first tried flying into the city, we had a very unceremonious landing. I mean, I'm not adverse to trying magic. I just don't believe that it will end well.
Yeah.
So, another hour passes. You guys have now hit the 8-hour mark. Henri, you can count this as a long rest. The rest of you, since you have been conscious the entire time, can't.
Right. And we haven't seen anybody come down. There's been no food and no nothing.
No. The door has not opened since you were brought down here. Which is very, very odd for prisoners in general.
I mean, if I run my prison like... Oh, wait, I mean... This is just inappropriate behavior. This is not how you treat prisoners.
Yeah. Baba, did you happen to notice any signal in that break space?
In the great space?
In that break empty space between the cells and the doors?
Did I see any sigils between the
Yeah.
doors and in the spaces between the...
The guard area.
Yeah, they go there.
Did I?
I just realized, can't you see? Oh no, it's in my head. Not that you can tell, but sigils in general can have a decent area of effect. So, just because there is nothing that would indicate there are any sigils carved in there. But just because there aren't any in there doesn't mean that they would not be affected by maybe some of the sigils other places.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna cast clairvoyance and see what's going on upstairs.
Okay.
I have full health. What's the worst that can happen?
As you concentrate and start casting the spell, you immediately feel this kind of pain in your temple. I need everyone to make me con saves, including Henri.
Do I automatically fail since I'm unconscious?
Nope, it's only strength and dex.
Okay.
Con saves you still get to save for.
Damn it, Vala.
Miss Nameless's bonus.
Commander, we'll start with you.
Nat 20 for a 23.
Damn. Lillian.
That was 2 for 8 total.
Okay, you failed. Henri.
15.
You failed. Argenta.
27.
You're fine. And then Vala.
I also got an 8.
Okay, so those of you that saved will take half of this.
Oh boy.
And Henri's going to be unconscious again.
I doubt that. So those of you that failed, you take 30 poison damage. Those of you that saved take 15. In addition, those of you that failed are under the poisoned condition. And while you remain poisoned, you will be unconscious.
So I'm just still unconscious.
So yeah, you're...
Oh, shit.
So for the rest of you, you watch as Vala kind of concentrates on a spell, and as she releases it, you watch 2 sigils flash instantly at the same time. The first one you watch just gives this kind of lilac-colored burst of light that as it hits Vala, you watch her just kind of shudder. And then the second one, you just see this green gas start spewing out of it and fill the entire area in like a second or two. And as you're sitting there kind of coughing and gagging, your lungs are burning. 2 of you go unconscious. The third one is already unconscious. But Commander and our Argenta, you guys kind of see it. You take a breath just before, and when it's getting to the point where you guys are about to lose your ability to hold your breath, the gas just, and it's all gone. And as you exhale, your lungs still burn a little bit because there's tiny bits, traces left, but it's not bad. And you look over and you see Vala and Lillian are now unconscious.
Oh.
When we get out of here, remind me to just slap her. 'Cause seriously.
What's the worst that could...
It's pretty much what we hear, right?
As
Pretty
you guys
much.
are there, you see the door open, and you see 4 guards come down, weapons drawn. And they see Commander and Argenta still up.
The one
What's
who
been
did's
happening here?
unconscious. Don't worry, the one who did's unconscious, she's out. We're just sitting here.
You know, I'd be having a much easier time if you'd stop giving them reasons to not trust you.
I didn't want she did it.
She doesn't
As
deal
the constable
with,
comes in. It's
she
all
doesn't
right,
deal
boys.
with magical limitations well. She tends to try and poke it.
I'm starting to realize that. Oh, it's all right, boys. I'll take care of them. Sir, I don't believe it's... Get the hell out of here. There are angry people outside. Go do a dance or something. Distract them for a bit. I've got conversations to have.
If they need entertainment.
You're unconscious. Be quiet. You've done enough already.
So you watch them kind of go out, and you see him take out this small vial of something. Much too small for it to be a potion or an antidote or something. But he goes over to Henri's cage first, and he opens it up. He goes to Henri, and he uncorks the bottle, and he kind of lifts Henri's head just a little bit and waves it under his nose. And Henri, you go from unconsciousness to awake instantly as some very powerful, noxious fumes are being breathed in. As you kind of wake up and you see the constable sitting there going, "Well, welcome back to the world of the living." "Well, kind of." And he kind of gets up and he goes and he does this. It's the same thing to both Argenta and Liliane, effectively just using some smelling salts. "Now, it'd be in your best interest to stay awake for a little while. I know you're probably very tired right now after that ordeal, but see, until the poison runs its course, these smelling salts will allow you to wake up. But as soon as you're back under, you're under until the poison's gone. So try and stay awake."
Did he wake up Vala?
Yeah, he woke up all the
Oh.
three of you guys.
That could happen. What? Sorry. That was weird. I was worried you had forgotten about us.
Oh, I won't be forgetting about you for a very long time. I have just spent the past 8 hours trying to convince a mob that you don't deserve to die in a very horrible way. I can say they have given up on lynching you. They fear that is far too quick a death.
Mm-hmm.
They've been thinking about boiling you in oil, though I had to mention we're a little short on oil. So boiling, we kind of have to boil you all in kind of a bouillabaisse situation.
Mm.
And we'd have to like dip you in parts because we wouldn't have enough to boil all of you. It'd be annoying. There was talk of flaying, but the only people with the stomach for that sort of thing kind of died in the fire, so that one is out.
Burning at the stake.
You know what? We didn't really think about that one.
I shoot daggers at Vala with my eyes.
Just tie bricks to my feet and throw me in a river. I don't care.
What about the wheel? The wheel's always fun.
It would be, but see, the wheel was in the church. And y'all went and burned the church down, so,
Go
Yep.
where your business.
They just seem angry. They were thinking about maybe stoning you, but, well, it just didn't seem mean enough.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to tell them exactly what in the hell went on, but, I don't know. So maybe
Yeah.
let's start with you all explaining why the hell you burnt my church down.
You want the long story or the short story?
Wait a minute. Point of order. Did we burn the church down?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, the
Okay.
Brigham.
I couldn't remember correctly. So I will just look the sheriff in the eye and say, look, as much as I would love to put burning a church down on my resume, We did not cause the church to burn down.
Yes, but the dragon was trying to kill you. That was fairly obvious. So,
Actually,
Technically
Argenta just
not.
kind of points her finger in the air. It was trying to kill the little altar boy that I saved.
whomever it was trying to kill, we've never had problems with dragons in this town till you all showed up. So, if the defense hinges on the fact that you're trying to blame the dragon, I might
Well-
as well start picking up rocks.
We only came here to get our friend, and she just kind of leans her head over to Lillian. And when we went into the church, we found her in an argument with the head priest. And then the head priest turned into a monster. And then he brought the dragon to the church.
I don't think that's gonna sway the people.
No, they seem to like the head priest. Well, they feared him. It's not quite liking, but you know, it works. See, the real fun part of this is in the middle of me explaining and trying to talk these people out of killing you. The tax collectors came.
Hmm.
And they want me to hand you over to them. And for some odd reason, I felt that was the wrong idea. In fact, I've got a strange feeling that you all would have a better chance at survival being lynched than you would going with the tax collectors. It's just the read of them I got.
Hmm.
So I told them that we've got laws and rules we have to follow, and if they want to come back in, oh, say a week or so after the trial's over and everything, I might be able to turn over custody. But then again, trials can take a long time, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month or two before I can let these people go. They weren't thrilled, but they did walk out, though I'm fairly certain they'll be back with friends relatively soon.
Oh, most definitely.
So how about we start here? Lillian, you and I never really interacted in the time you've been here, but I remember the day you showed up. And I know you were a devoted follower for quite a few months here, so why don't you explain to me exactly why you decided to burn down the church?
I mean, I didn't decide to, but
Let's
give me a text.
let's get past this idea that it wasn't you that burnt the church. The church was burnt. Let's just talk about what situation led to the church being burnt and how it's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, fine. Yeah, I went there. How long was I there?
Believe it's been a while. I believe it was either 3 or 6 months.
Alright.
I can't remember what order I put you guys in here.
Alright. Yeah.
With the fact that it took them a month or two to get the rest of the group back together with traveling and everything, let's say you've been there for at least 5 months.
Yeah, I was here for several months, as you know. But the longer I stayed, the more I had a feeling that something was off.
I can't really argue with that but a point. I mean,
Um,
High Priest has always seemed to be a mite controlling for my taste.
very. Um, and during my time there, I realized something that they looked we either start raising sweet. They were corrupted and mad. Um, and it did happen that today that came to an end when my friend said I called the every other bullshit and it was a fight. And during that fight when my friend said they had free to the bar, it was a bar that you saw rising the drink. So clearly the free was not a free. He was some kind of undead monster without a better word.
Well, there were a few people that mentioned seeing some just a strange creature riding on the back of that dragon. You're trying to tell me that was the High Priest?
Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
And I'll take out my only similar and I swear on the dark lady that I'm telling the truth.
Well, if anyone else had told that story, whether I believed it or not, I couldn't let it slide. The town won't believe a word of it, but
I know that why when you first came down here, I wasn't to someone who tell you. Because I know they won't. But it is what it is.
let me see if is there anyone else in the church you know that might be able to corroborate, at least maybe
Oh,
paint some light on the High Priest not being the bastion of divinity that he played himself off as.
There's a little kid, Lillian, that you asked me to save.
yeah, but I feel like giving what happened to what he did. He wouldn't exactly be our most reliable witness. Um,
Are any of them, though? I mean, religion's a bit overrated if you ask me.
That might not be the best defense in this town.
yeah.
blame everything.
I think I'm gonna think about whether I want to involve her, but after like a visitor to our thing, the school that I helped save for the dragon, whose name is Taylor, and I was a fireman.
You see him take some notes. All right, I'll have a conversation with her. See if we can't get some support. I gotta say, bare minimum, y'all are probably gonna have to leave pretty quick here. And that's if things go our way. If things go poorly, well, we'll get to that later, won't we? Get comfy. You're gonna be here for the night. I'll send the boys down with something for you to eat and drink. It won't be great, but it'll be better than what we normally give folks here, seeing as technically you're not under arrest yet. So we don't know what to charge you with.
How long should we that have been poisoned stay awake for?
Oh, it normally wears off within an hour, so...
Okay. I will refrain from using magic.
That'd be preferred. If you set off another one of those alarm sigils, I'm not going to be able to stop the boys from coming down and permanently removing your ability to cast magic. Have fun. I'll be back as soon as I can. And you see him go up.
I'll just look at the others and be like, I didn't think it would do that.
Why don't we just do what always happens in situations like this with me? Just blame the outcast. It works all the time.
But then they will do something horrible to you.
So?
Besides, no one knows the outcast here.
You again.
Wait a minute. How did you get in here?
I come and go as I please. You see
Let
the
me
old,
rephrase.
decrepit woman sitting at the desk.
How did you get in here without setting off?
Sorry, what did you say, Lillian?
Somebody want me to do.
Oh. And you see her go, yes, we haven't formally been introduced.
She doesn't give a name. She just comes and pleases, gives you a card reading, answers a question vaguely, things like that.
You can think of me as a friend. As of right now, I am probably the person who likes you the most in this town. Though that's not saying much. So you've all gotten back together. It's very impressive. Caused quite a bit of damage on your way out. So what do you plan to do now?
I don't know about them, but I am going to make sure that that dragon pays.
Take a tour of the countryside.
It's a good idea to go after the dragon. One of the 4 generals rides the dragon currently.
What for general?
Well, the Dark Lord never leaves his castle. So, in order to invoke his will, when he first conquered these lands, centuries, millennia, no one knows, he sent 4 generals. He imbued a bit of his power into each one. To this day, they don't seem to age. They don't seem to ever weaken. And in each one is a magic stone. Physically inside their body. No one's quite sure how they were put there. Well, no one but me. And those stones, as long as they're inside a living host of sufficient power, fuel energy to Castle Tormund Rift itself. Strengthen every diabolical creature inside.
How do you know how they were played there?
We'll just say that's for me to know and you to find out. Those aren't the only defenses of Castle Tormund Rift, though. See, there's a field of energy surrounds the entire castle itself, fueled by the 3 strongest souls, or groups of souls, as a matter of fact. Now, you can get through the shield if you want, but you will pay a heavy toll. In order to deactivate it, you would have to remove them from their suffering. One of them used to be a king, ruled over a large land, thought himself the most powerful person in existence. Now, he is the only prisoner in an entire tower devoted to keeping him wallowing in pity and loneliness. His jailer is a rather powerful death knight. He used to complain over and over again about how his musketeers would come and save him, but they never showed. The second, well, much more than second, but they all contribute equally. In Middenwell, group of 13 very old, ancient vampires who used to control hundreds of thousands, had the adoration of entire houses of vampires, are now servants and slaves, meant and forced to do the most menial, unforgiving tasks repeatedly. They are looked down upon by every single creature around them.
They kind of deserve it.
Oh, they probably do. But that suffering allows them to power that barrier. The final group are effectively attack dogs. They're kept on a leash in Wrathfall, released when they're needed, and then reined in when they're done. They used to call themselves the Blood Pack. Now, the name fits rather better, for when people don't pay their blood tax, the Blood Pack collects. But they're never allowed into their human form. They are permanently stuck in the haze of anger and adrenaline and fear, unable to control themselves. So if you'd like to take out the dragon, again, you're more than welcome. Again, the High Priest is one of the generals, and he's on the dragon itself. I believe you've already met one of the other generals. Claims he was a mercenary at one point. Now he's, well, since you've been gone, he's effectively taken over Ebonthorn. Ilmorn has a new mayor. Though I think it would be best if you all met that particular one yourselves. And then, of course, there are a brother and sister pair in Klausgate, his last of the 4 generals. They're the ones people fear the most, because they're never seen apart. And they have an unearthly connection with each other. They seem to see through each other's eyes instantaneously, simultaneously. Very dangerous. So, what questions do you have for me?
Well, out of all those scenarios you so pleasantly painted, which one would lead to our demise the quickest?
All of them will have you ending relatively quickly.
Well, might as well go for whatever's closer then.
Well, you have Demise Tower to the southeast. It's relatively close. Middenwell, you've already been through. Obviously, you know Ilmorn and Ebonthorn, and Commander here has been to Klausgate. He's even met the generals, I believe, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Why isn't Eisenford, like, what's its deal? Like, every other place seems to have someone of importance powering something, but Meisenford. Why is that?
It's a very good question. Perhaps you should find the answer to it.
Well, I mean, none of us know how to get to the Demise Tower, so I think maybe we shouldn't go there first.
It's probably wise.
Yeah.
I think that would make Minwell our first stop then, unless we want to go over mountains or through the woods, I guess.
Yeah, we passed through Mittenwell, but it was relatively uneventful.
I don't know about you guys. Well, Lillian, you weren't here for this, but let's not go through those godforsaken mists again.
Yeah, no, we can't.
Unless, of
We
course, there's a trick to getting through them without that happening again, but I doubt it.
What happened?
we nearly died. We got lucky that Vala got to us.
Just because you haven't died here, Commander, doesn't mean you're invincible. The rest of us have probably died several times.
I said we got lucky.
I mean, you can kill me right now. I'll probably be back tomorrow.
Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, you were there in Ilmorn. I only know what happened because you guys told me. And if I've been here longer than everyone, then it's probably happened a few times.
I found Argenta first. I witnessed her die. I thought she was actually dead, and I buried her. And the next thing I knew, in the morning, she was walking and talking again. And I don't know if it was location or if it is this realm or this curse or whatever it is. I'd rather not try to find out definitively if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, probably better not test it.
Wonder if Meisenford has some kind of device, weapon, whatever, that the Dark Lord despises. And that's why it's the furthest. And why none of these people of interest are there. Just odd to me. Why have a city you don't have that much control over?
Isn't that where isn't that where we found you?
I mean, you found me in the woods. I barely
But
spent time there.
wondering if you were the control.
I don't know. If it comes to it and there's some fifth hidden general and it's me, by all means, take me out. I don't care anymore. But till we get out of here. Middenwell, however you pronounce Dark Lord wasn't the greatest with penmanship. I don't know.
These stones, can you describe them? What do they look like? What are they made of?
They're about this large, oblong. They're placed just behind the heart.
Well, once I see one of them, I can locate them, so I can tell you if there's a fifth general nearby, anyways.
Oh, be nice, but no. Each one is unique.
Where is yours located?
Very smart to think that I somehow work for him. No, I have just as much interest in seeing the Dark Lord get what's coming to him as you do, so.
you take it free?
I actually think he destroyed your home a while ago. Am I wrong?
Oh, that would be a very good explanation as to why I do what I do. Unfortunately, it's not. The real reason why I'm helping you, why I do anything, will become clear eventually, just not now.
For the record, I don't believe that you work for him currently.
I worked with him long enough. I know the kind of people he likes. She would probably terrify him.
You'd be surprised the effect I have on some people.
Oh my god. Sorry, no, I have an amazing gift, and that's the ability to jump to the wrong conclusions. So, I will save all of us some embarrassment.
Well, if you do decide you would like to confront the Dark Lord himself, and you see her reach into her sleeve, and she takes out this larger than average coin, and she kind of flicks it towards Vavala. As you catch it, the coin itself is much heavier than it should be for its size. It's about the size of a silver dollar. And on it are symbols that you don't recognize. They don't seem to be arcane, but you've never seen anything like them.
Before coming here, have any of us encountered you before?
Oh no, no! I tend to stay just here. Well, you all have so much to decide, and I want to get out of here before the mob upstairs decides that they still want to kill you. So, would anyone like a read before I leave?
I mean, Lillian, you might as well. You're the only one that hasn't.
Yeah, why not?
Wonderful. The Vizier. Someone you trust implicitly will become very, very important to you very soon. Whether that importance is a benefit or a curse, I guess you'll have to find out. The sun. The sun is never seen in these parts, but you will find a way to bring the sunrise back. However, sunrise can mark the start of a new day. Can also mark the start of a new suffering. The Donjon. It's an interesting card. Can mean a lot of different things, but in this case, seems to be missing a letter. I see in your future someone very smooth, able to talk quickly say nothing and yet still get what he wants, which almost always involves pleasing a very powerful lady. I wish you all luck. I really would like to see some change around here, and you might be the people to do it. Just remember that coin is very valuable. It's the key that will allow you to confront the Dark Lord. Without it, well, you can give up.
Okay. I will make sure this stays someplace safe.
I think your friend is coming back. And as she says that, you hear the door open and you guys see the constable start walking down. As you look back over, she's not there. There's nothing to indicate she ever was. Well, got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, well, they're not gonna kill you tonight. Figured that's as good a news as it can be in this situation.
That is very good news.
However, they want blood. So, I've told them that I will make sure you are executed. It's the least I can do. You've been awfully nice. I'll make sure it's short and quick. Of course. And you see him draw his sword that you've seen him hold relatively steady. You've never seen him actually use it, but he seems to have pretty good hands. And as he draws it, you can see his hand is just shaking uncontrollably. It's been so long since I've held a blade, I'm not sure I even know how to use it anymore. Wish I could trust one of my boys to do this, but it's just too important.
No, of course. The one who cast the sentence should be the one who carries it out.
It's a very good idea. Well, I think it's best that we take care of this as quickly as possible. How does that sound to y'all?
Most amicable.
Wonderful. Here, and he takes out this very bizarre looking set of manacles. Because not only does it have the things that go around your wrist, but it also has something else chained to it with 5 smaller holes. And he goes over to you, Vivala, and he opens up the cage and he starts putting the manacles on, and then he takes each one of your fingers and locks it into this very kind of strange lock that locks your fingers like this. There we go. Trying to show you, but you can't see over there.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, you've seen similar controls before, but you've never seen one that's metal that's actually designed like this. There is a way, so certain people are taught to tie a magic user up that prevents them from casting spells with somatic components. But yeah, it's kind of an impressive little doohickey. And you see him lock up anyone that has spellcasting abilities with this. Is the same thing.
Would it work on me with my bracer?
The things
'Cause I know you said it got bigger. I just don't know how much bigger.
He can put it over your bracer, seeing as he wouldn't be able to get it off. He would just use a larger manacle for your bracer. So it would probably be very uncomfortable for you, but not impossible to do.
Well, let's get this over with then.
So he changed you guys all up. You see,
And I am excited to see you. Really good to see you.
yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll in an insight check.
Let's see what is my insight. Phew.
2.5.
Nope. That was total.
You're still a little shaken from the fact that, you know, your closest friends, you're relatively certain hate you now. So your closest friends here, you're fairly certain hate you now, and the place you've been living for almost 6 months got burned to the ground. So yeah, you're having a hard time reading other people. You're reading yourself to do too much. So he gets you all and starts kind of marching you out. As you get to the upper floor, or the main level, you see there the hall that makes up this area is packed with people, and as soon as they see you, they start yelling. A few of them get ready to throw things, and some of the guards kind of stop them. Not so much to detect you guys, because the guards don't seem particularly fond of you either. But they don't want these people screwing up their barracks. And so you guys are slowly marched out of the town. People jeering and screaming. As soon as you're out of the barracks, the guards stop protecting you, so they start throwing rotten fruit and vegetables, and a few of them throw some things that are a little bit harder, rocks and the like. But you're all able to go out. He takes you well outside the city limits. Put you all on your knees in a big line. I decided that it'd be best if you were given last rites. It's only fair. So I brought one of the few remaining clergy we had left to administer your last rites. Terrace, would you come over here, please? We're in need of your guidance. Of course, Constable. I have to remind you that what is to be said is only to be heard by the Dark Lady herself and her representative. I must ask that you step back far enough so they can have their privacy. Oh, I understand completely. And you see him kind of walk off. And Terrace comes over to Vala first. I want you to understand. Death is the natural end of life. It is a transition from one path to the next. And as she says this, you see she has this kind of rather large bag that she seems to be taking things out of. And at first it seems kind of mundane, but then she takes out this very brilliant looking dagger with a blade that looks like flame has been frozen in time.
Mm-hmm.
And so deftly you would almost think she was a rogue and not a member of the clergy. The dagger disappears, and you feel a weight on your hip. And she goes through this very long explanation of how the Dark Lady views death and how you should feel overjoyed that you are finally doing what it is that the Dark Lady had planned from the day that you were born. She knew the moment that you were to die. And that once your life ends here, you will be transferred into her loving arms, and she will decide whether you go to one of the 7 levels of Elysium or the 7 levels of Tartarus, based on where your soul is most meant to be. And she goes, is there anything you would like to tell the Dark Lady to sway her judgment one way or the other?
Only that if by her grace I'm given a chance, I have... My life's work has been to protect the living, to protect life, and to destroy undeath.
She nods, and you see her take out a dagger. There's something really strange about this dagger. And as you look at it, you see her take out a vial very secretively so that no one other than you and her could see it. But she's very obvious to you that she's taking this vial out, and she seems to be poisoning this blade. But as she pours the poison in the blade, you notice the blade itself is not fixed as it should be. It seems to be moving much more than bad construction would explain. And as she finishes it, she pushes the blade in. And you notice it stops when there's only about that much of the blade left. Not anywhere near enough to cause a fatal wound, but enough to cause you to bleed like you had had a fatal wound.
Got it. I see where this is going, and I prepare myself for when she goes to stab me.
Okay. So he takes the blade, thrusts it into your chest, holds you close, kind of cheek to cheek, and kind of brushes your hair. This is good. This is good. May the blessings of the Dark Lady to take you. And you start to feel the poison on the blade coursing through your veins. And you start to feel your eyes grow heavy. You can make a Constitution saving throw, or you can choose to fail it.
I am gonna let it go and just do my best. I can't think of the name of the actor, but from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I feel the light leaving me. Oh no, this is the end.
And as your eyes close, you feel the world kind of shrink down, and you're in darkness. And you watch as the rest of you watch as Vala's body falls and a pool of blood forms. And she does the same thing with each of you.
When it got to me,
Mm-hmm.
I would tell her that you can tell the Dark Lady to fuck off. She doesn't own me.
And you see her nod. And she does the same thing with everyone, where she very casually but very clearly shows you the trick knife, and she shows you poisoning. She shows her poisoning the blade and everything. And again, if any of you guys want to try and resist the poison, you can. We'll say started with Vala, it went to Argenta. Argenta's already special interaction you wanted to have with her?
Not really, just making it obvious I'm zoning out when she's doing the whole prayer nonsense.
Yep. And so you see her, she stabs and she does break skin, and it's relatively painful, but you've cut yourself worse shaving. And so, just like Vala, you see darkness closing in, and all of you see her pull the dagger out, covered in Argenta's blood. She falls over, and a really large pool of blood forms below her. He goes over to Henri, and Henri says, "The Dark Lady can fuck off." And
I will try to resist it.
okay, go ahead and make me a con save then.
22.
22, yeah. You do resist. So as the blade goes in, you start to feel the tunnel vision coming on. You start to feel yourself getting a little lightheaded and start going unconscious. And right before you would end, you don't. But she still has you kind of held to her shoulder, and not feeling your muscles relax, she kind of forces you down with a lot more strength than you expected her to have. And as she pulls the dagger out and kind of forces you to the ground very slowly, you realize the poison must also have some sort of anticoagulant in it or something, because you are bleeding much more than you think is even possible for the small wound she gave you. And as she kind of places you face down, you hear this just very, very quietly in your ear, "Stay down." And you watch as blood that you don't know where it's coming from. There's so much of it, and you can't feel that much leaving your body, forms this rather large pool around you. You are still conscious, though. So what would you like to do?
I will stay down for the time being.
Okay. Make me a performance check.
Are we still under the effects of the poison from the cells or no?
No, that would have ended.
Okay, good. So don't have disadvantage.
Nope.
Wow, I think I should have been a bard. Holy crap.
Well, warlock, bard, you're both charisma based.
22, but
Yeah. So you go, "Ugh." Very convincing. Commander, any special interaction you'd like to have with her?
No, much like Argenta, just ignoring everything.
Okay. She gets to the point where she pulls out Fury, and she kind of just looks at you with this expression of, "Where do you want this?"
I'll motion to the left arm where I have the pocket.
Okay. And you watch her very, very stealthily kind of reach in. She finds the pocket, deposits the gun, and goes about everything. Shows you the trick knife, shows you the poison, plunges it in. Are you going to resist or no?
No, I won't.
Okay. So you feel darkness to take you over. You fall down, large pool of blood. Finally, she gets to Argenta. And you've seen this ritual before? Is one of the rituals you were taught? Yes, Liliana, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, guys. So, yeah, as you're very familiar with this. You've actually performed this ritual a couple times, not a ton, but the clergy was often asked for executions and things like that to be the person that actually ended the person's life. And the church liked to be the executioners in general. So she's going through everything. Again, it feels very familiar, but there's kind of a sad tinge to it, with the idea that this is all a show. And every other time when you were taught it, when you've actually done it, this was a very important, powerful ritual. It was the final ritual most people experienced in this life. And so you can see she's struggling with you specifically to get through all the words and everything. And as she pulls the dagger out and she shows you and she poisons it, she brings you close. And she just whispers in your ear, "I'm sorry." And you feel the dagger pierce. Again, it pierces. It's not pleasant, but it's a really shallow wound. And with how often you have cut yourself for your blood right, this is not a big deal. But you do start feeling the tunnel vision and everything. Are you going to resist the poison?
No.
Okay. So as you kind of give in, you hear the last two words you hear before darkness takes over are, "Goodbye, my friend." And then you're off.
Right. Will she giving me going back? Will
Okay.
she doing the whole deal?
Mm-hmm.
Would I know with that right now? And if I knew stay in the wherever you were calling, would I recognize that a legitimate thing or something that the church kind of put as their own or
Sorry, I'm not quite understanding the question itself.
her whole deal about that.
Uh-huh. That's part of the ritual. You've said those exact words yourself.
Is it would I recognize it as being something that this church kind of created, or would I think it was a legitimate thing?
It has its own flavor, but due to the fact that you'd been studying the Dark Lady before you ever got here, it's effectively identical to what a priest of the Dark Lady would give. The church here had a lot more power, so it was used a ton. Like in Valakukovia, a priest or cleric of the Dark Lady might use this a few times in their life to help someone end their life, or in very strange circumstances where they were executing someone. Here, everybody did it. Like you had done it multiple times. So, but that was the only. But it is a real thing. This wasn't part of the corruption.
So is that came all in the same
Okay.
and she said it at the end when she had being anything I want to say to the Dark Lady, saying the part where I'm sorry for the last 6 months or whatever it been. But I'll say it like I'm saying it in a dark lady, but the words will be directed at parents.
Okay. And you see, she's been kind of composing herself this entire time, and as you kind of said basically the last prayer with her, you see her eyes start to well up. You see a single tear kind of go down her cheeks, and then when you say those last things, she kind of takes a sharp inhale. You see her kind of wipe some tears away as stealthily as she can. And you guys kind of lock eyes for what seems like hours, while it only takes a few seconds. And then again, she hugs you, plunges the knife, and you go down to the darkness. Now, the knife is a completely new thing for you. That's not how you were taught to do this. Every time you did it, you really killed a person. So,
Yeah.
just letting you know it's not normal
Yeah.
to live through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, darkness. I'd like everyone to roll me just flat kick a Constitution checks.
Do you want me to as well, since I'm not unconscious?
No, we can forget you for right now. I'll describe what happens to you in just a second here. So, Vala, what you got for me?
Well, I rolled a 2, so a total of 5.
Cool. Argenta, some triple-digit number, I'm just assuming.
22.
Yeah. Commander?
Same 22.
Damn. And then Lillian?
17.
Cool. So, Henri, your performance is rather impressive. You are lying there in this pool of something akin to your own blood, though again, you still have no idea where it's coming from. You've lost copious amounts of blood before. You know that kind of lightheaded feeling when you've lost too much blood. You're not getting it. But bleeding this much should cause you should be unconscious about 3 times now with how much blood is pouring out of your wound. So this is some alchemy you've never seen before, but it has increased your blood flow somehow. After you've all been laying there for about 10 minutes, you hear some conversations, and eventually you feel a pair of very strong arms pick up your legs, and another pair pick up your arms, and they throw you in a wagon of some sort. And after you land on something soft and squishy, and then something else lands on top of you that is somewhat soft but relatively heavy, and then a second thing lands on top of both of you, and you are now sandwiched in between the unconscious bodies of your allies. And you hear someone encourage a horse to draw you, and for the next 3 hours, you are no idea where you are, where you're going. You're effectively pinned and restrained underneath the bodies, and you can't see anything. Eventually, it stops, and the bodies are picked off of you. And almost as soon as the pressure is lifted, you are picked up and you are thrown into a ditch of some sort. And you feel 2 more bodies fall into the top of you, and then you hear a wagon go off. What would you like to do?
Can I, once I hear, make sure that there's no one living nearby, can I kind of look around to see?
Yeah, you'll need to roll a strength check first, because you have 2 bodies on top of you currently.
Are my hands still bound?
No. Or technically the manacles are still on you, but for some odd reason they seem to have failed, and the chains are broken.
Okay. Because if
It's
I fail
very
this,
strange.
I mean, if I fail this, I'm gonna fail this. It's me.
Not if, when.
Where was that when I was slipping and sliding into a sphere? It's a nat 20 for a 19.
Okay. So you kind of shift a little bit and you lift up, and as you get up, you kind of throw the weight that's on you off, and you watch as Vala's head just goes thud as her body falls, and her head just hits the ground. She is still completely unconscious, but you're relatively certain when she stops being unconscious, she's going to have a headache.
Probably deserves it a little.
A little, really?
As you look around,
One thing I've done wrong.
Episodes 2 through 50.
Yeah, right?
as you look around, you are in a forest. There is a light mist covering the ground to the point where until you sat up, you were actually enveloped in the mist. There's this kind of heavy mist that's all over the ground and is completely concealing the ditch that you guys have been thrown in.
Forget. Do I know if any of my compatriots has a set of thieves' tools?
I don't know. I
No.
don't think any of them have used it in your presence, so you wouldn't be. If they do have it, you wouldn't be aware of them.
I'm just gonna try and get out of my manacles and then get everyone else out of theirs.
Okay. You notice, again, these manacles must be very poorly made, because after messing with them for a little bit, the locks just break. Like, these obviously were defective. And it takes you about 20 minutes to get through everyone, just because it takes some finagling, especially with the damn magical ones. They just take so long to get everything off of. But you are able to get through everything, and they are still unconscious. No matter what you've done to them, they are out.
I would, after getting everyone out of the restraints, find whatever bag Argenta pulls all her weaponry out and put all the manacles in there for later,
Okay.
and then just watch over them while they're unconscious.
Okay. The next 5 hours pass very slowly. But Commander and Argenta, you guys wake up about the same time, and the first thing you notice is it feels like you drank sand. Your mouth is so bone dry, it hurts to breathe, it hurts to swallow. Your eyes are really dry and gritty. Your stomach feels strange. And as you both kind of get up, I can turn music on again. As you both get up, you notice that Lillian and Vala seem to still be unconscious, and Henri is just sitting over by a tree, relaxing.
What? Where are we?
Valakovia. We're in Valakovia. Where do you think?
Oh, really? I thought we were back in Finarish. I know we're still where we are. How far? Never mind.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't see. I had you guys all piled on top of me. I was the only one who
How long
wasn't
were we
unconscious.
out?
5 hours and 2 minutes.
Total, they were out for 8, because you traveled for 3 hours in the thing.
Oh, yeah, it's 8 hours, give or take.
Do we got a long rest in, Jody?
That counts as a long rest, yes.
Sweet.
As you guys are talking, you watch as Lillian starts getting up as well.
I assume the alchemical thing wore off by now, so we're not just oozing all this weird blood still.
No, you guys stopped bleeding before you were taking off. Surprisingly enough, once a body is dead, you stop bleeding. when there's
I
no
didn't know
more
if it was like
blood
a
pumping.
I didn't know if it was like a spell and it was just an illusion or something.
No, you're. If you wanted to spend the last 5 hours trying to figure out how she did it, you can.
Nah.
But without the poison, it'll be kind of difficult.
Nah. Henri probably would have just been staring into the mist, trying to alter it with shape of water.
Okay.
Like self pat down, make sure all my weapons are in order.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you seem to have everything. You guys notice when you check for the wound is not there. Like you go and look, and there's not even a scar. It seems to have healed itself, almost as if someone had cast like a cure wounds or something on it.
Yeah, I don't know where we are.
Oh, we're 8 hours outside of that place.
I mean, I know we're by some woods. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Next thing to figure out.
That
Is there?
would mean, that would
Go
mean
ahead.
we're either by the webwood or they took us north closer to Rathfont.
Does this look like the road we came in on, Jody? Like we?
You're not on a road at all.
Oh, never mind then.
The area that you're in is not like heavily wooded, but there's enough trees that you can't see more than maybe about 100 to 200 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
As
I
you guys are
mean-
discussing everything, you suddenly see Vala shoot straight up and then yell in pain. Vala, as you wake up, again, same thing. Your mouth is so dry it hurts everything. Your eyes are dry and gritty, and your head hurts more than it has ever hurt in your entire little life. It's like someone has two massive war hammers that just keep hitting alternating sides of your head over and over and over again.
And I will just fall down and just lie there.
Serves you right.
A hand appears out of nowhere and makes a gesture towards Commander.
Hey, okay. Right back at you.
What did I ever do to deserve this? I
Cast
mean,
a spell
that
in a
was a
place we didn't
restore.
need to.
It got attention. How long were we supposed to sit down there?
Well, I don't know. I was, awake the whole time, so that was fun.
Well, you slept in the jail cell.
Well, next time you can get burnt by a dragon. How about that?
I'll go over to
Fire can't
Vala
kill me. Fire
and-
can't kill a dragon.
kneel down
Yeah, Bobby was right there.
and start talking very loudly into Vala's ear, like almost screaming, saying, "We need to figure out where we're gonna go. Where do you think we should go?"
Why do I not have silence? This will be rectified in the morning.
Oh. Does anyone have any spells that could help us find where we are? Because we could wander aimlessly, but I don't know what that's going to prove.
Vala, as you kind of clutch your head and get a little bit further away from the commander's booming voice, you suddenly feel this strange pressure on your face that kind of dances across it, and you kind of shake your head and feel something kind of touching your arm and your face and everything, and you're like, ugh, 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 ugh. And you wipe off very large spider webs that you've just walked through.
Oh god, guys. I like how I don't even have to do anything before I'm the one who discovers the bad things. It's just
Vala,
assumed.
Vala,
What does it do
don't,
now?
don't burn it down.
There are spider webs.
I think we figured out why it's called the webwood.
And that is where we are going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of the episode, you can always go to youtube.com/TrainerJujuJody. I upload all of the videos of my games on Sunday, so you can watch this episode on Sunday. All the rest of them are already there. Next week, I'm running the second part of a one-shot. I'm actually running one of the Candlekeep Mysteries adventures. So if you have wanted to see me run a game, but you don't want to have to catch up on an entire, campaign, this is a really short one shot. They're all playing characters just made for that one shot. So you can see some fun stuff, and you can see one of the Candlekeep Mysteries adventures run. You can even get to see some high-level D&D play. They're all level 15, so kind of cool stuff. Otherwise, again, that is all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye!